coconut milk.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Okay, so I just went through Starbucks because I thought Starbucks was the perfect place to start my video on the nationalization of businesses and how you can get rich exploiting them. Hi, welcome to the video. It's Travis. So, we're talking about how to make money off of private equity and the nationalization of businesses. So, everybody probably understands what the nationalization of businesses means. If you look around in the town you're in or any town you go to, more and more you're seeing the same businesses in every town or every major city. This is because over time it's become more and more popular to try to just set up franchises everywhere and be a nationwide or a worldwide company and stomp out the little guys. So as this happens, as this nationalization happens, it creates opportunities. I'm going to get into that first. Let me help you understand a few things. Private equity is a big part of this. So let's talk about what is private equity. Private equity is a group that is managing a large pool of money with the intent to make investments, usually into privately held companies, and they want to take a controlling interest or 100% interest into this business. And the most common thing that they're trying to do, from my experience, is a roll-up. So what is a roll-up? A roll-up is when they buy similar companies in different geographical areas and jam them all together to form one bigger company with multiple locations. Some examples of that would be waste management. In the 1970s and 80s, waste management rolled up 133 companies to form the biggest waste company in the nation. And this happens every day, right? So a lot of times this starts as private equity. The private equity guys are managing a pool of money. They start buying up moms and pops, strong regional companies, and they'll buy one in a major area and then buy another one in a completely different area, but they run them as the same company. They're branded the same. They have a central management usually, and they keep doing this until they get big enough that they can either go public with this company or they can sell it to a bigger group that's doing a roll-up. So how does this create opportunities? Anytime there's a transfer of ownership in a business, there's a potential opportunity. If it's a guy like me buying a business from a different guy, there's less of an opportunity, because usually local guys want to deal with local guys. What the opposite of that is when a national company or a private equity group buys a local company, a lot of time there's a certain percentage of customers that just don't want to deal with a national company. So they start looking for who's the next local guy to deal with. They want to keep their money local. Another way it creates opportunities is normally a lot of good people start looking for the exit when a private equity group or national company buys a local company. There's lots of reasons for this. A lot of times these national companies have like a central location that they're running all their operations out of. So you may have to start driving a longer distance to work. All of a sudden your boss is some guy you don't know and you've been working for the owner forever. Maybe the flexibility in your job changes. There's all these new rules, rumors start going around. There's just all kinds of reasons that good people decide to leave companies once they're bought by national companies. So there's opportunities there to hire people with knowledge of the business And there's also opportunity to grab customers that don't want to deal with a national company. So I have been able to capitalize on this type of deal a few times. When I got into the garbage business, I wasn't looking to get into the garbage business. I wasn't even looking for an investment. I found out that a local guy in my area sold his trash business to a national company. And as I followed the story, I started seeing more and more people on social media comment about how bad the service had gotten and how they missed this local guy. And then I started hearing that they were raising prices. So you had this kind of combination of higher prices and worse service, right? So a guy like me, I started thinking, well, what people were involved with the local company that are unhappy now? How hard is it to get some garbage trucks quickly? And obviously the customers are out there, but how do I touch on all of these customers quickly? And there's a window of opportunity in a transition period like this where the national company is trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure out, how do I run equipment from the central location instead of the location they were at? They're trying to figure out, how do I upgrade different systems to our systems and integrate different things that they're doing into how we do them, figure out people and personalities and all that, all while running this company that they just bought. So in this particular scenario, the local guy that sold out, he had about 3,000 customers. I think it was a little short of 3,000. And it took him about 15 years to get to that point. And he had bought the company from a guy that had 600 customers. So he added about 2,400 customers over 15 years to the original 600. And this is over probably collectively a 20-year timeline. We went out, I say we, I mean me and my team, we went out and bought a couple of garbage trucks. We hired away a couple of the key people from the original local company. They were happy to leave the national company. And we started advertising through Facebook, through mailers, through flyers, word of mouth. And we are now in year 2.5. We're 2.5 years into this, and we just crossed 3,100 customers. Most of those customers are from the original 3,000 that the local guy had. We have added a couple more routes, but most of them. So you see the opportunity was, if the opportunity is there, how quick you can go in and scale a business and take things from this national company. On top of that, I'm not even sure that this national company knows I exist. So we went in and created a really great business over 2.5 years. And I don't even know if these guys know, other than the regional guys that we've been taking customers from, I don't even think they know who we are, right? They're definitely not talking about us on their earnings calls and stuff like that. The other piece of this that's pretty interesting to me is, like I said, I've spent 2.5 years building this business. I could probably sell this business for quite a bit of money in relation to what I've invested in. Not that I haven't invested a lot in it, but I think I could at least double my money, maybe more, and this is over the course of 2.5 years. If I was trying to sell this business, which I'm not, I've been approached multiple times by people doing roll-ups, and we're just not interested in selling this particular business. But if I was, I could turn right around and I could do one of these every few years and make really good money doing it. This is something that works really well in the service businesses that are asset light. If a local landscaper sold his business and it was to a national company and I saw an opportunity, I could run out and buy lawnmowers. I could hire people rapidly. I could set up shop rapidly, and I could probably take a lot of business from them in the transition period and while they were taking this over. However, if a pipeline company sold out, I can't go and throw in a pipeline relatively quickly, right? Private equity in general creates a huge opportunity for guys like us because this is like anything else. There's good private equity groups and there's bad private equity groups, meaning they're disciplined. So these private equity groups all have one thing in common. They're spending somebody else's money. So when you're spending somebody else's money, you're either highly disciplined and you pass on the stuff that doesn't make sense, or you're not highly disciplined and you overpay for things and you make bad buys, and eventually you're not doing it anymore because nobody trusts you to manage their money. But probably for every one good one, there's a dozen bad ones, right? So let me give you a couple of examples. My original company, Texas Gathering Company, the biggest company I ever owned and the company that got me started in business, I sold in July of 2015. This was right before the oil crash. We were an oil trading company, and we had about 75 company trucks and then some owner operators, and we had some hired haulers helping us. But our main job was to buy crude oil, truck the crude oil to a refinery, and sell the crude oil, and we made money off of the difference between the buy and the sell. I was approached in 2014 by a private equity group that wanted to buy my company. At the time, I didn't want to sell it, so I told them no. They circled back a couple of months later, and they said, "What do you think about this price?" I said, "I told you, I don't want to sell it. I'm going to do this till I die." So they circled back around and they threw out another price. They said, "What do you think about this price?" I said, "I told you, I'm not interested." So a little time goes by and they call back and they say, "You keep telling us no. What would you take?" I sat down and put a pencil to this number, and if I had kept my company and I operated it for 10 years perfectly, never had a hiccup, I couldn't make as much money as I could have made selling it to them. The reason that I could do that is because they were spending somebody else's money and they were not being disciplined about what they were doing. Was my company worth what they paid? I mean, things are worth what people pay for them. I wouldn't have paid it. I don't care whose money I was spending, I wouldn't have paid it. But this happens every day. Another example of this is a different company I owned. We had a really good market position on the Gulf Coast, and we were approached by a private equity company, and they said, "We really want to be in that market." And keep in mind, these companies, they don't know how to go organically just grow something. There's certain people that are really good at starting things from nothing and taking it to something, but then they start to struggle when it gets big. And then there's other guys that are really good at taking it from, a small company and turning it into a big company. So a lot of times these guys, they're not just going to go set up shop. They'd rather just spend money and buy you out. So this company approaches me. They say, "We want to buy you out. We want your place in the market." I said, "Let me think about it." I called a friend of mine who his whole job in life is a business brokerage. He values companies. He helps people sell their companies. I called him up. I said, "This is what I got. What do you think it's worth?" He said, "I think it's probably worth $1.5 million. Okay. A year later-ish, I sold this company to private equity for just a little bit short of $5 million. The reason why is they wanted to be in the market I was in. We were the best candidate in the market. I put a number on it that I was not willing to compromise, and they were spending somebody else's money. So again, you start to see the recipe here is you have these private equity guys that are spending somebody else's money, and if you're at a point where you want to sell, you can sell it for an extreme valuation, a valuation that's much higher than normally you would get, right? Although it's becoming more of the norm now to just sell for crazy numbers. So anyway, the opportunity is if you can find a national company or a private equity group that's out rolling up companies and it's in your area of expertise, you should start lining up some backing, some working partners, or save cash of your own and be prepared, start looking for opportunities, because you can jump in there right after they buy a local guy out, scoop up all those customers or a large portion of those customers and have a great business, just because a lot of these private equity groups and national companies are very bad at integration and execution. They don't care about the customer. So that's the opportunity. I've done it a few times. it's mainly what I look for now. When I was younger, I just kind of did what I thought would be fun or what I thought would be big. But now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for opportunities where national companies have come in or private equity groups have come in and taken out a local guy, and I can run in there and set up shop rapidly and take advantage and exploit this opportunity. You make a lot of money doing this. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap the video up right here. I think this is kind of something I could talk about a lot of times. I could talk about this on multiple videos and go deeper. If you like these videos, please like, subscribe, share this, tell everybody you know about it so that I have the drive to keep making them. I enjoy talking about some of these things. So anyway, I'm trying to release a video every Sunday, so we'll see you next Sunday.